Storylines for, I don't call it the divisional round, the throwdown round is here. The more you know. That's right, Dion Dawkins will be here talking about the Bills after their big win, and they will be welcoming the Chiefs. That's right, Patrick Mahomes never played a playoff game on the road, and he's going to have to do that with Bills Mafia this weekend. Are Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift going to go through some flame-entrenched tables to welcome them into the Buffalo area? I don't know. We'll talk about that with Dion. We've got Torrey Smith on the show. I mean, two-time Super Bowl champion, got with the Eagles. We'll talk to him about the Ravens, of course, the Niners. Perfect person to break down what's going on ahead of the throwdown round. Let's go. Bills win. Check, 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 check. Wild card weekend gave us a baby, and the baby is the throwdown round. And here's the baby. We start Saturday. Ravens, Texans, Baltimore. Okay, early 8.5-point fave there. I see you. Packers, Niners, the nightcap. Green Bay getting 9.5 there. That's going to be a high-scoring game. I can't wait, even with those defenses. And then on Sunday, Bucs, Lions, Detroit, 6-point faves at home. Interessante. Followed by Bills, Chiefs. What a rivalry. What a game. And we'll see if the Bills can beat up their big brother. This will be a third postseason meeting for Allen and Mahomes. That is our closest line of the weekend. For those of you who want to have some fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook, Bills giving just 2.5 at home. We're going to get into all of this, of course. Did I flip back and forth to watch the Emmys last night during this Eagles-Bucs game? Sure. Did I see something that sort of personifies what this matchup is between the Bills and the Chiefs? I did. Kieran Culkin of my favorite show ever, Succession. He had previously been nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a drama, and he lost twice. Then couldn't get a win. Couldn't get anywhere. Brilliant performances, did well, just not enough to get a win. Then he made some changes. That's the Bills. That's the Bills and the Chiefs. That is, I can't get a win here. I'm the little brother in this category. For whatever reason, it doesn't happen. Not regular season, but in the playoffs, when it matters, on the big night, at the Emmys. Kieran Culkin couldn't get a win. That's the Bills. Then they bring in Joe Brady. They make some transitions. He goes to moves categories, says, I'm going to be in the lead actor category. That's what I want, and it works out for him. That's Joe Brady. That's home field advantage for the Bills. They're switching it up. Will that be enough? Will that get them a win over those Chiefs and get, Kieran Culkin a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame like his big brother? We don't know, but it's all happening this weekend. Let's talk about what happened last night to get us to this point. Torrey Smith, Dion Dawkins on the show. Bucs, Eagles, Tampa. We see you. We love you. We talk about you all the time, and they came to play at home. They control the game from start to finish. They take a lead on the opening drive, and then it was boring. And then I was like, I can watch whatever I want. I can do house chores because they did not give up the lead. I like to think that I live on the TV show that gives Baker his due. It's right here all season. They started hot, 3-1. We were all over it. Baker quietly rewriting his narrative all season. We told you about it week in, week out, evolving as a human. We're cheering him on. Very little pickup on our social media, elsewhere for sure. They win the division title this year. NFC South sucks. It stinks. Listen to me. Sometimes you have to just go out there and freaking take it, okay? Sometimes no one will see what you're doing or what you're worth unless you are undeniable and you go take it. And that's exactly what Baker Mayfield did. 337 yards, 3 touchdowns last night. You just saw a couple of the highlights. This was a really special performance on a really massive stage. And Tampa's defense, by the way, give them their love. Todd Bowles was in his bag with these blitzes last night, driving Jalen Hurts and this entire Philly O-line insane all night long and keeping constant pressure on. He was able to take more chances without A.J. Brown out there. And he really kind of took advantage of that. I mean, once I saw the tush push get stopped, I knew it was over. Death by Vita Vea, people. It's all the more special because, and this is just like a bigger picture thing, like it or not, they're doing this on defense with Baker Mayfield especially. They're doing it in this big shadow, this hole, this crater that the GOAT left. I'm talking about the guy having dinners with Irina Shayk. I'm talking about Tom Brady. Baker had to do this after Brady. It's not easy. Look at New England post-Brady. They're in shambles. They're lighting everything on fire. This Bucs squad somehow turnover, new offensive coordinator, new often criticized and easy to punch around quarterback in Baker Mayfield. We know what he is, what his ceiling is. No. Here he is, and here we are to Detroit. They go. I like that. All right, let's talk about Philly. I don't want to talk about Philly. I happen to like Philadelphia. One of my favorite stops on our training camp tour months and months and months ago. I did not think we'd be sitting here in this situation. 1-6 finish for Philly after a 10-1 start. The math doesn't math. Torrey Smith's going to have to help me on this one. He won a Super Bowl with his team. What happened? With my little eye, I spy they just don't want to tackle. Is it that simple? Why would you not want to tackle? Not that that's new. That's been like sort of the theme of this team, especially down the stretch. But not in the playoffs. So you're not going to tackle in the playoffs? What? This offense had no flow to it. Sprinkle in some blow-ups on the sideline, and this was as ugly as it gets for a team and as steep a fall from greatness as I've ever seen. I've never quite seen this. Go to a Super Bowl, start really hot, and then this happens. And then this morning, we get the news, and it's, melancholy, celebratory. Sure, Jason Kelce is retiring. Congratulations to him. Unbelievable, undoubtable, undeniable first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He's got to be, right? There's no argument against that. This is the anchor, the glue that held the Philly offense together through lots of different quarterbacks and coaches and regimes, and he is now donezo. He's not doing the thing where he's going to announce on a keg, I'm coming back to play with Jalen Hurts. Like, that seems like forever ago. And my favorite part of this whole game on the Philly side was Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, that little moment, that little window where they're just celebrating after a sack, after a disruptive play. I was just like, this is what I want from this team. This is like how much fun this squad can be, how much history. And now we're all just like, is Sirianni going to get the rug pulled out from under him? Did it pull it under himself? How does this happen? He wouldn't comment on his job status, of course, after the game. We're on the outside looking into what happened to this Eagles squad down the stretch. It'll be studied for years, I think. But it feels like, just the feeling, is that things fell apart inside that snow globe. How did he lose the team? I'll ask Torey, how did he lose the team this epically? And we'll get into that. We'll get into maybe some funny Kelce stories with Eagles Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith in a bit. But the situation in Philly is something to keep an eye on here. I sort of alluded to it yesterday as far as coaching things happening. I know Bill Belichick went and had his interview with the Falcons. I want to say to him, I love this for you. Why mess with having to deal with like the money of Dak and the whatever? Like, go. By the way, like, you're in your twilight. Like, go hang out in a dome. Go hang out. There's like a little bit nicer weather sometimes. Go hang out in a place where you can literally build everything the way you want it to be and cater to you. Design your own house, Bill. Why not? It makes sort of makes sense. Okay, on to Steelers Bills. The Steelers didn't go away that quietly. They're a tough watch for me, to be honest. It's like a battle between my inner undiagnosed ADD watching the Steelers. That's just how I feel, at least at this point in the game. But, the Bills took care of business. They're obviously exciting. We don't know what's going to happen, which way the bouncy ball is going to bounce in any different game. But they're going to host the divisional round. And they're there for the fourth straight season. They got to get past this, okay? They're the little brother. They're Kieran Culkin before he switches categories to win the Emmy. Josh Allen was at his absolute best, okay? We saw all the good and none of the recklessness that gets him in trouble sometimes. Now we're going to have two quarterbacks not playing recklessly with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. 3 touchdown passes. I mean, this touchdown run was stupid. This is the Josh Allen that gives you the hope, that makes you want to go shovel the snow in the stadium, that makes you want to, like, I don't even know, fly through those tables as you do. Like, that's the guy, that one play. And speaking of running, I've been waiting for the Bills to get a run game going. This has been my criticism of the Bills, well documented since way back in my NFL Network days and this entire Josh Allen era. We've seen them completely abandon the run. Like, bewilderingly in the postseason, a lot, and it has come back to frostbite them. Well, yesterday is probably a good sign of things to come there because you got to discipline Brady, just calling plays and just making it happen. Buffalo ran for 179 yards. That is the most they've put up in a playoff game since 1995. And before you say, oh, well, Josh Allen ran for a bunch of yards, look at this. Don't say that to me. Taking Josh Allen out of the equation, the Bills still had more rushing attempts and yards. Mwah! Mwah! I could kiss you, Bills, from their running backs than they've had in any postseason game since Josh Allen has become the starter. So if you really look at this list, the key games they've lost during the stretch, hello, Cincinnati. They had 11 runs from their running backs. That's gross. Kansas City in 2020, 9 runs you ran. Ed Rooney, Ferris Bueller, 9 times. 9 times, that's gross. Ick, ugh, allergic, ugh. The loss to Kansas City in 2021, just 10 runs. Now, since Joe Brady's taken over, he's made James Cook a big point of emphasis. James Cook, who got the Up and Adams bump bing, and then he's just running all over the place. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it carry over. It was like a big confidence booster for me as someone who would like them to go for a run. To like, how exciting would it be if they won the Super Bowl? You know, everybody's talking about Josh Allen and the pass rush and everything else. It is like literally the run game that, in my opinion, will be the key to this team finally getting out of the AFC. And obviously, they've got a big test with their big brother coming to town. We got a lot to talk about. We're 10 minutes in. We got 50 minutes to work in some attaboys, to talk to our boy Dion Dawkins, to talk to a two-time Super Bowl champ in Torrey Smith, who's got lots to say, I'm sure. We're going to go down memory lane with our guy Jason Kelce. I haven't seen you in a long time, Torey. He's got a new podcast. You guys got to go download. Let's do it. Okay, let's see. Let me get to this. Okay. Cole Buchanan, 30 years old today. Happy birthday to Cole. Love that. Torey Tuesday, that's right. Torey will be here. We are still looking for a time with L'Jarius. I am now officially bothering him, so things have gotten to that level. But we're trying to make something work schedule-wise. Debo also, obviously, short week. By the way, Bills fans, we're all complaining about a short week. Packers also have a short week. Half the freaking field has a short week. I don't know what the resolution is for that. Hammy, are you around? Okay, no Hammy on camera today. Okay. I remember Torrey Smith from his Maryland and Raven days. Yes, we'll talk about that. 95 first year they didn't make the Super Bowl. Gonna break Bills fans' hearts in their own stadium. Don't say that. I feel like a lot's changed for this Bills team. I just explained what the biggest change is, you guys. Okay, both coordinators being gone, letting go of a head coach who took this team to the Super Bowl last year really doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what the big difference is. I would like to know what Jalen needs. What does Jalen need to be the best version of himself? How can we surround him with talent that makes him the best? It's interesting. Torrey Smith beat the Broncos with a couple of touchdowns with a mile-high miracle in 2013. How was that 11 years ago? What the? That is crazy. Why are people saying Stafford deserved all the boos? I don't know, because it's sports. Have you ever been in a sports bar? Have you ever been to a sports game or had an argument with somebody? Both sides are right there. It'll all blow over. I think Taylor Lewan was right about that. Jalen needs ayahuasca. Okay, well, I don't think so. I don't think that's. I don't know that the history of using ayahuasca has led to much success in the NFL. I'll just say that. Okay. Guys, we got Dion Dawkins coming on the show. Hopefully he's defrosted, and we're going to talk about how much food he eats on the daily, because I was reading about it on the Players Tribune, and I could not freaking believe it. Let's do it. Back on Up and Adams are, Torrey Smith, get in here. I haven't talked to you in forever. You played 8 seasons at wide receiver, Ravens, Niners, Eagles, Panthers, 2-time Super Bowl champion. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in a long time. Congrats on the podcast. Tell us about it and where we can download it.
Thank you. It's Trending Thoughts. It's on all platforms, and just trying to figure out a way to be like Kay Adams and have fun, talk ball, talk life. Things are a lot different these days in retirement, so I'm very active on social media, primarily Twitter. So I like to talk about trending thoughts, and that could be football. That could be why my kids don't listen, right? I don't know. It could be anything. So I've just been having fun messing around with it and, enjoying watching your show as well.
I love that. Trending Thoughts, guys. Go download it. Torrey's deep. Torrey thinks about things in a different way. I never sat when we used to do Good Morning Football together. I never left not feeling a lot smarter. I'm not kidding, or at least a lot more mindful about things. And you're talking about retiring. Torrey, your boy Jason Kelce, he told his guys last night, it's a wrap. You played in that Super Bowl, on that Super Bowl championship winning team with him. What's your best Jason Kelce story?
Man, just everything about Kelce. I mean, you see him on TV, and he's received a lot of attention, even without his brother, right? He's been a great guy, one of the best players to ever play this game. And the one thing that stands out to me that I remember the most about Kelce is we ate lunch together every day. For whatever reason, I always sat around the lineman. I played quarterback growing up, so I like to feel like that's where my bond was. But, just sitting there with Kelce and Lane Johnson and Chris Long jumping in there, and I just remember talking with him so much about what it took to win. Because at that point, when I went there, we had already won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, and he would ask so many questions. I was just curious about the leadership and what it took, the highs and the lows, and to see it all play out, to see it happen for him, and just to know who he was and being a major part of it. I mean, that's really what stood out to me, just deep conversations, even about family within there. But I think the number one thing that stands out was his Super Bowl parade speech. I think that will go down for the ages. But, I love Kelce to death, and he's going to be great on the other side of this game.
What do you think he'll do? What's his next phase of life look like? Of course, great heights. He's got an incredibly successful podcast. So what could you see him doing?
I mean, here's the thing. What can't he do, right? He could talk about football. He could talk about life. I call him the president of Philadelphia. He could be a politician if he wanted to. I mean, he's really one of the best people that you will ever be around. He's genuine, right? What you see is what you get. And he genuinely cares about people. So that's why, to me, I'm glad that he has this opportunity to really focus on his family. But whatever he decides to do, obviously their podcast is a hit. So he can obviously just do that. But Kelce's going to be successful at whatever he does, and I hope he takes his time to truly figure out where his passion lies.
I feel like he wears his emotions on his sleeve so beautifully. It's like so nice to see, especially at his position. I can't imagine what it was like in that locker room last night, Torey.
Man, I just knew I was watching the TV last night with my wife, and I just saw his body language. I'm like, this is it. I'm like, he's gonna call it quits. And I asked him about it. I'm like, man, you're too good to be retiring. Like, what do you mean? Like, and so to watch him, you could just see his body language. Like, it felt like it was the last one. And so for him that he's able to go out on a high, who gets to retire as an all-pro, right? You would like to retire with the Lombardi in your hand, but he's still one of the best players in the league. He still has his health, and that's a great decision for him to make. I'm excited for him. And, it always hurts when you see a great person emotional, right, when they don't have the result that they want. But at the end of the day, he means a lot to that team. He means a lot to the city of Philadelphia and that organization. And, again, retirement is going to be beautiful for him, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
First ballot Hall of Famer for sure. Can't wait. Maybe you'll
Absolutely.
be in Canton cheering him on. In that, you're saying he left on a high note. I wish it was a little different. I can't understand what happened to this team. In your reading body language, knowing the infrastructure, knowing I'm looking at Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce. How does this happen?
Man, that's the $1 million question, and it hurts. Like I said, those are my brothers. So I'm trying to take my, we're talking football here, and I love those guys like brothers. And, it's tough to see what happens when you know the type of leadership they have. They have, what type of talent they have. It's like, man, how did this happen? And I don't know. There was no one thing. It's like the wheel just kind of fell off. Coach Sirianni, he's done a great job, culture-wise. I love what he's built with this team. But over the last, month or two, it was really ugly. And again, there's no one reason as to why it is. The one thing that always stands out to me, though, when things are going backwards is when the sideline starts to shift, meaning guys are complaining more visibly, right? Does that mean it's the end of the world? No. These guys have feelings, too. They get frustrated and they don't handle it the best way. But I will tell you this, if you watch his teams over the years, that's not something that genuinely happens. And sometimes I do think this can be a one-season type thing, right? Because if you see the culture that's built there, it's pretty standard. But it fell off just a little bit there towards the end. I think it ended up hurting the team. To me, it felt like they were playing very uninspired football.
Yeah.
And that's not the Philadelphia way. That's not how this team is. That's not how Coach Sirianni is. So I want to make sure I'm clear in saying that. I'm not a person that's waking up this morning like all the fans fire coach. Everyone has to go. But when you were watching the football aspect of it, I didn't think they were consistent on offense. There was no continuity. There was no rhythm. They never found it. And it's been kind of lost for weeks. And then when you talk about on defense, it was like they weren't interested in pursuing the ball and tackling. And those are basic things of football. And it just was very uninspired.
But what does that mean when you're
if
I'm watching them and they don't want to tackle in a playoff game for their lives in a corner? Who's accountable for that?
Man, that's the hard part, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I always say it's a player's game, right? Like, you get paid to do it. You don't need a coach to motivate you to go out there and tackle somebody
Strong.
for a game that you've been dreaming of playing in forever, right? Like, that you don't need a coach to do that. And so when you go out there and you see that kind of effort, I mean, it's awful, to be completely honest. It was a little disheartening to see because that's not who they are. Like, I've seen those guys in the preseason. You were there in camp. You know how that team is. Like, that's not who they are. So I don't know what needs to happen to get back to it, but it wasn't any single thing that you can point to, which is part of the problem. But also it's like when you can come back to this next offseason, get back to the drawing board, get back to who you are, your identity. Offensively, really having an identity that people trust and believe. Defensively, flying around, rallying to the ball, being that aggressive Eagles team. I mean, that's what was missing. At the end of the day, it was too much to overcome. And I was trying to pump all the praise and hype in the world into that team to really get it over because we had been there. When I was in Baltimore, we started off 9-2. The year we won the Super Bowl, and we ended up finishing the season 10-6. So it's possible to get over that hump, right? I actually lived it. Like, I know what it's like. But it was just a little bit too much, and it was flat, honestly, from the first play of the game to the end, except for the defense flying around and making a few plays, and Devontae Smith, who played a heck of a game.
Would it be a mistake to fire Nick Sirianni?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think sometimes we make emotional reactions, right? And Howard's one of the best in the business, and Miss O'Leary as well. So they do what they do. What do I know, right? The only thing I've managed is my 9-year-old tackle football team and my 7-on-7 team, right? So I don't know. But I will tell you this. When it comes down to it, sometimes change isn't always a good thing. And when you have a team that was literally just there in the Super Bowl, right, plays away, I would even say a missed holding call away from really being in contention there, right? And so when you're there and knowing that the majority of this league has not been in that position for years, yet you found a way to get there twice within the last 5-6 years, even with 2 different coaches, like, come on, man. Like, this team has what it takes. The culture was there. You have your quarterback, right? It's there. Just sometimes it's like, man, you just need that little touch up. And I don't think he's had enough time to fail and show that he's not the guy. He literally just had them in the Super Bowl. So I'm not a person that just goes and throws that all away. He's shown he has the ability. Now it's about just getting back on track.
Getting back on track. Okay, so we're not into firing Coach Sirianni. Everyone's looking for what's the reason. Like you're saying, it's $1 million question. And, they have their quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Down the stretch, I don't know what happened. I don't know how to, what do I think about Jalen Hurts? And I would just ask you, what does he need most to be the best Jalen we can have? Play caller, A.J. Brown healthy, his finger, what was missing?
I think the whole 9, right? There was just no rhythm. When you watched yesterday, I think you felt the presence of A.J. Brown not being there because it seemed like they had to force it to Devontae a lot more. When you have both of those guys who I feel are 2 number 1 receivers, that's tough to deal with. Then there are a bunch of screen passes being called to try to offset the blitz plan. To be honest, I don't think the blitz package was as good as it could have been to help protect Jalen and get him in rhythm. I thought there were too many routes where the receivers were stopping. And when it comes to blitzing, and why I'm saying that it's a problem, is that when a team is blitzing, they know the ball has to come out quick. And as a receiver, it's hard to run a route when the guy is sitting and you have to stop. So I wish they had a few more options where guys were on the move and maybe get it quick to him. But it was just too much. I mean, you even think about when Jalen took the safety there, right? Sure, he should have thrown the ball away. But I'm looking at it, the guys were open on the outside. It was just too much pressure up the middle. So there was no one person that you can kind of put it on. I think there was a lack of rhythm in the offense. I think the run game was really good early on. They got away from it too quick. But again, I think Jalen's a better quarterback when they're able to run the ball. And I don't think that consistently happened enough over the back half of the season. I heard you talking about that with Josh Allen. I feel the same way there, right? The stronger your running game is, you show me a strong run game, I'll show you a strong quarterback.
Yeah, and they have
Sanders. And I think for Jalen, that rhythm wasn't there.
And now they have a lot of free agents at the running back position. They have to figure out, what is that going to look like to balance and help Jalen? I think that's a great point. When you look at the Bucs side of things, no one's given. They win the division. Let's not pretend bad division. They won the division. Do they have what it takes, or is there something that you saw last night that makes you think they got a shot in Detroit?
I think Todd Bowles, as a coach and a leader, you see everyone's buying on in. You know, the Eagles game last night was tough, but it could have really been a blowout had they hit a couple of throws. Baker Mayfield, who everyone's kind of thrown away, was phenomenal. Baker could have had probably 2 more touchdowns where he threw some dimes down the field. And Mike Evans had a couple of plays that could have been some huge ones that were just off his fingertips. So you're talking about a quarterback that is playing his best ball at the right time. And that defense, we talk about the Eagles offense, that defense was flying around. And that is tough to deal with. So I do think they stand a chance at going up in Detroit, playing in there, which is a tough environment. But I love everything that Detroit is doing as well. It's going to be a real good football team. I'm looking forward to watching a playoff game. Every single game was a blowout except for one. So I'm looking forward to watching a really good playoff game up there in Detroit. And I think this Tampa Bay Bucs team has what it takes to go out there and compete for sure.
I know Buffalo thinks they have the best home field advantage in the league. I don't know. Lions looked pretty good. It was the loudest atmosphere I've ever seen. The Bills get their win. Josh Allen, he had 4 total touchdowns. I mean, this touchdown was insane. How would you describe the Josh Allen experience, Torey?
Man, Josh Allen is like a Cam Newton to me. Like, I mean, just a big-time athlete. You run and you throw. I think people criticize his interceptions sometimes. Like, yes, sometimes there's some decision-making there. But the reality of it is, if you're throwing the ball 1,000 times a game, you're going to make a couple mistakes in there. But I think the way he plays, he's a game changer. MVP-type candidate year in, year out. And I think the way he's transformed this organization, it's clear, you know, and he's consistently been one of the better guys. So I'm excited for Josh and what he's been able to do and really highlighting his talent. And he's fun to watch. I remember when they played Philly earlier, he's consistently, when he's on the field, he puts on a show, regardless of the run game being there or not. But like we talked about earlier, when the run game is there, it helps him out so much more. And you talk about a guy that has the ability to take it to the house. You know, it looked like he was going to slide for a second. He saw that crease, and he had real speed there. So, I mean, this Bills team is very dangerous. And, again, not a team that you want to play right now.
Hamilton just texted me. I don't know if you remember Matthew Hamilton for Good Morning. He goes, 2018, we made that Cam comp, and people laughed you off of the internet. And I remember saying, he's like Cam Newton. That's what he's like. And nobody, he even gave it a little something there at the end there. We'll see if it's enough for them against the Chiefs, of course. I want to ask you about Stephon Diggs. He made some, you know, come on now. Fellow Terrapin.
Terps, baby.
Here, Terps, baby. He had some big catches. It was nice to see 52 yards receiving. The huge production we saw early in the season has sort of dwindled. People are making a lot of storylines about that as this is last year there. Do you think the Bills' offense needs more out of Diggs in this Chiefs game? I know we're talking about balance and run, but like he's one of those receivers that if I'm in a big game, mini miracle vibes, I'm giving him the ball.
Yeah, I think oftentimes when we think about a superstar receiver, we think they have to be fed the ball, which you think is easy, but that's not always easy to do. The most important thing is, are you moving the chains? So if the Bills weren't moving the ball and Diggs wasn't involved, then there would be a problem. But they're scoring points and they're moving the ball. And Diggs is making the plays when they present themselves. And that's all you can ask for in the playoffs. I think my little bro has been unfairly criticized by so many people for years simply because he wants to win. And I think if you're doing anything right now, you're watching a guy that's not whining about targets. He's out there just playing ball. He wants to win a Super Bowl. I think at this point you can look and be honest about it. Even if you don't like Diggs, he's made a lot of money, right? He's been in an organization that he loves. He's around a great quarterback. He's been to the Pro Bowl. He's been All-Pro. He's had everything but the opportunity to win a championship. And when you watch this guy and the way he works and what he does, ignore the fashion and all these things. He puts his work and his heart into everything that he does at all times. And he just wants to win. So for him to be who he is, when the opportunity presents itself, he's going to be ready. Because this is an opportunity, I can tell you, from knowing this kid since high school, he's been waiting for forever. And watching the way he worked this year, even with Myron Flowers down here in the DMV area, man, he's been getting it in. So Diggs will be ready when his number's called, and there's no better week than next week.
Yeah, he's gonna have a tough. I mean, I think he's got the best cornerback duo he's going against with his Chiefs squad. They look really, really good.
They look good.
With Snead and McDuffie, like they're pretty tough. So it'll be big for him. On the other side, have you watched Rashee Rice at all?
I have. I like what I see. You know, talking about a young guy that has really come into his own as this year has gone on. Just talk about confidence, right? I think all year long, Patrick Mahomes has been a guy that we're looking like, man, he doesn't have enough there. Well, the young guy gets his chance. And he's stepping up. He's getting better and better each and every week. And the Chiefs, you know, the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. But I always say, as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing, that's a scary team. You know he has Travis Kelce. Now he has a receiver outside that people have to respect because it's always been by committee. It's always been by committee, but now they have that guy back, especially since Tyreek's been gone. I'm excited to see what happens with him and his game. And listen, playing with Patrick Mahomes, this is going to be a guy here soon that you're going to be seeing playing at the all-pro type level as he continues to develop in his career.
Lamar Jackson, got to get to him. MVP season.
The guy.
I know your kid has got his jersey, the whole nine. We love him. We want him to bring Baltimore another Super Bowl. Is there something about this Ravens offense that puts them above tough competition? You can say what we want about Mahomes not having it, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, if not the best. What does this team have that separates them from the rest?
Just special, man. And this is me removing my bias. Full disclosure, I live in Maryland, okay? I have 4 favorite teams, all of them that I play for, but I care for the Ravens a little bit more. I live here, right? So I see what's happening with Lamar. I see what's going on with the team. And you're talking about, it's just special. You know, Coach Harbaugh actually allowed me to shadow the team for a day. I was looking into what it's like to kind of be a coach. And you just it felt like how it did when we won the Super Bowl back when I was in Baltimore. It felt like how it did in Philadelphia when we won the Super Bowl there. And what do I mean by that? There's this culture of it's about the team. You're talking about a room full of receivers. 1 million first-round picks in there, right? Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar. 0 egos. All of these guys are locked in on trying to win a championship. And when you have that type of energy and when you see a defense that's playing at that high of a level, guys that are playing for each other, you know, Roquan Smith setting the standard for what it means to be a Baltimore Raven. Defensive line flying around, guys who were castaways in other organizations and now have the opportunity to step up. I mean, do you see Clowney? He's the Clowney that we've all known and loved. He is out there balling, right? Being himself. And I think Coach Harbaugh honestly deserves a lot of credit for that as well. He always says to let your light shine, and he's letting his guys do that. And you're seeing what this team looks like that's playing for each other, man. And it's a lot of positive energy here in this city. And to have the opportunity to take care of business at home is something that this team worked for. And Lamar Jackson is playing the best ball of his career. And MVP, if you ask me.
Ooh.
And I can't wait to see what they do next week.
So left in the AFC, you got young Stroud, who's killing it. Got to give him his love. You got Allen, who we love. We got Mahomes, who we love. Where are you putting Lamar if we were to have to rank those?
Lamar's number 1. I mean, you're the MVP. I don't know. I mean, I love Patrick Mahomes to death. I love Josh Allen. Like, those are my guys, right? I love those guys. But, and C.J. Stroud, I love him too. That young cat is a baller. But, I mean, Lamar's the best player in the league right now. And then I would go ahead and rank it. You could toss up a quarter between Mahomes and Josh Allen. But if I'm being honest,
Chiefs fans are not going to like that, Torey. Chiefs fans are not going to like that.
They don't have to lock. Hey, go watch the film. I'll give that nod to actually Josh Allen right now, even though I love Patrick Mahomes to death. Patrick Mahomes, and then you have C.J. Stroud, who's right there. Talking about a guy that even his first, he came up to Baltimore earlier this year.
Okay.
Watched him in person. He was not afraid. He was not afraid to play at M&T Bank Stadium. So watching him come here in his playoffs right now, even with some more time in, he's going to be ready to roll, man. That's not a rookie quarterback that's rolling in here. That's a young guy that's ready to play. However, this Ravens defense is ready to roll as well. And I can't wait. I will be there to check this one out in person.
Ooh, I love that. Did you just drop that are you interested in coaching? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, I coach at the youth level.
I know, but you're shadowing to be a coach.
I just like to learn. You know, I'll coach my 7-on-17 level 82. So we travel and we do the passing game stuff. But, I want to learn. And you want to be completely honest about it? I watched more film on the other side of it than I did playing. It's because I knew what I was looking at. I knew what I was looking for. Now, all those O-line meetings that I was barely paying attention to, man, who do I have to block? I'm not worried about what they have to do. Man, who do I have to block? Now, I'm thinking as a coach, it's man, there's so many different things you have to know. So I definitely take advantage of having the opportunity to go and shadow the Ravens or shadow the Eagles or shadow Coach Mike Locksley at Maryland to try to learn more.
I don't know if I'd like to see you as a coach. I think the Eagles could use you. I don't know if you want to move. I know you love Maryland. Really quick before you go, you killed it. I thank you so much for coming on the show. You did the AFC quarterbacks. Let's do the NFC. You got Love, you got Baker, you got Jared Goff. Who am I missing on the NFC side?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Who's easily number 1. Easily number 1.
Okay, because people are trying to say people are trying to say I'd rather have Jordan Love than Brock Purdy. That's a thing that I'm seeing, Torey.
Well, I think they're saying that, but what are their situations? I think what Kyle Shanahan has done with that offense there, I know my guy Cam Newton had definitely started something with talking about game manager versus game changer, but the reality of it is Brock Purdy is perfect in that offense. The San Francisco 49ers have their franchise quarterback, right? The Green Bay Packers have their franchise quarterback with Jordan Love. These guys are doing a great job and exceeding expectations. But Brock Purdy coming in off of the season that he had last year, we expected him to play well, right? Now he showed that for the majority of the year, honestly, until that Baltimore game, people were talking about him as an MVP candidate. So let's not act like he hasn't done his job. So I think he's easily number one over there. I think he has the best. Yes, absolutely. Brock Purdy. I think Brock is the best quarterback left on the NFC side. I think Brock has the best receivers left in the entire league in the playoffs right now. And when I say receivers, I really mean weapons, because you have Brandon Ayuk, you have Deebo Samuel, you have George Kittle, you have Christian McCaffrey, who I say all the time is one of the best players I've ever played with. You can line him up anywhere on the field. That joker could go out there at receiver. He could run an 18-yard comeback if you needed him to.
Torey, if you had to throw in, if you could pick a locker room to go in and be part of the coaching staff or catch rocks or be part of the offense, are you going San Francisco or are you going Ravens?
Why would you put me on a spot like that?
Because you have this unique perspective. It's my trending thought. It's what I'm thinking, Tor. We got to go, but tell me really quick.
I think that's a phenomenal question. But I think I've been around Lamar Jackson and watched him in practice. Man, put me around LJ all day.
Okay, special things going on, no ego going on in that Ravens locker room. Guys, check out Trending Thoughts. That's Torrey Smith's podcast. We'll have you back, of course. You were the best. Coaching at a team near you, we'll talk about that. We appreciate you. Torrey Hamilton says hi. We have Dion Dawkins on the show. Now, Dion Dawkins just heard coin flip for Mahomes or Josh Allen best quarterback. I know Dion's got some thoughts. Schno!
What's up, yo? How you doing? What up, what up?
Goldthorpe, who's on tomorrow? What time? I don't know does Kat know? Kat, I can do 10. Are we moving a meeting?
There's a David and Joe posting.
I'm going to go home and get set. But I can do that at 10. Are you moving marketing to 10:30? Yeah. Is Chris going to be okay with that? Yeah. Guys, David and Joker will be on the show tomorrow. Who else is on tomorrow? Gronk?
Gronky.
Oh, two tight end Wednesdays. We love it. Okay. What a great interview that was. Torrey Smith is the best. I really have not spoken to him in a minute, so very happy to have him. Ryan says, Torrey needs a weekly segment. Well, guess what? I think that's what's going to happen. Love Torrey. Love that. Kay, you better be getting Showtime for Friday. I don't know. I think our bookers are all over it. Like, can Aaron Jones run it back without talking to me before? I don't think so. Kelce's a top-tier center. Hey, Hamilton. Can Hamilton hear me? Hamilton. Dion V. Okay, I'll see where it goes. This is going to be one of my favorite interviews of the year because Dion Dawkins is freaking hilarious. And I wore waterproof mascara, Dion, so don't even think they're going to make me cry laughing and it's going to run down my face. Hamilton, Jason, obviously. My next guest is a 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle for the Buffalo Bills. By the way, their 2023 Walter Payton Man of the Year should not go unsaid here. They are, of course, this Buffalo team coming off a 31-17 win over the Steelers last night. The Snowman, Dion Dawkins. Hello.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on? I feel like we should have had a better intro. I needed a hype video. I needed, like, you playing in the snow. But you had that yesterday. What was that like for you? You are on your way to a home divisional round game.
Nah, that's super lit. Oh, man. First of all, yesterday was dope in its own. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but, like, you know, it hits different every single time. But whenever you have, like, a snow game or when the stands have snow in it, whenever you score, they throw the snow up in the air, like almost like confetti or like LeBron James powder.
Okay.
Like they throw
Look
it
at
up
that
in
little
the air.
boy. That little boy has a boulder. Can we play that again? Okay, so they're throwing it up
insane.
like LeBron.
Yeah. Yes, they're just throwing it up, and it's just like, it's honestly the most beautiful thing. Like when you're on that field and you're looking around and the whole stadium is like, and like fog, it's so dope.
Dion,
it's
it
the
does
coolest
not
thing
seem dope. I feel like we should, you know, I'm an XFL girly, I think, at heart. I do not, this is not the weather. This is not the situation I want. I can't believe that you love this.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
All you need is a jacket and some gloves. You're worried about it because you're going to be cold.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Yeah. Jackets, gloves, ski mask, push. It's the whole thing.
Tell me, this Patrick Mahomes character, he's going to come in there. First time, you get to give him a taste of his first playoff road experience. If you were to explain to an alien that came down from outer space the home field advantage in Buffalo, how would you describe its specialness and its uniqueness?
The home field advantage, uniqueness in Buffalo, very weirdly, I will say, is, you know, the Lucky Charms factory is in Buffalo.
I did not.
So when you get to a certain point of driving through Buffalo, all you smell is Lucky Charms. So if you know what Lucky Charms smell like, that is also an energy boost for us. Maybe just the big guys who don't know. I'm a bigger guy, offensive lineman. I think about food. But it's something special about Buffalo because, like, you know, Buffalo, like, the people here, they don't have as much as the other fan bases, but their football team and their field hockey team and their hockey team or lacrosse. It's just a different feeling. So when it's football, it's literally like it's all they have is football. So you feel that energy as soon as you enter in the city. Like you can't even walk through the airport without people singing, hey, hey, hey. Like I just looked at a clip on Instagram, and the people on the plane are singing it too. So it's just like a full community, full energy bubble. But my biggest thing is the Lucky Charms. I think
I love you, Dion.
that is a big advantage.
I never knew that. No one's ever told me that. No, now I understand the allure. Now I gotta go. How many boxes of Lucky Charms can you eat in one sitting?
The truth, I mean, it depends because you got a family-sized box or you got like that little expensive box that's real small but it's really expensive that I don't buy. But I could say about a box and a half or maybe even pushing a box. Realistically.
What are you eating today? I saw your player. I think it's Players True. You're like ordering double noodles, double shrimp. Like I would love to be you. Like what will you eat today, my friend?
Today is my off day. I am big on farina. I don't know if you know what farina is.
Come on.
I mean,
know
look,
farina
everybody's different. Everybody's different. Like they're like, farina, is that grits? Is that like oatmeal? Like, yeah, so grits and farina are like my morning-ish type of off-day food, and then the afternoon, it's a free-for-all.
What does that mean? Take me into your beautiful world of food. Go.
A free-for-all? Not you want to talk food. All right. It's horrible. It's very, very horrible, but I treat myself after a win with McDonald's. I love McDonald's.
What's the order?
I am huge. I'm huge on the McChicken with extra mayonnaise. I love the McDoubles, and I go with a large fry. So it's usually 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens,
Oh,
and a
two.
large fry.
You
Two.
literally double everything. So I was like, that's not that bad.
Double.
Like two things isn't. You're downing 4 and a large fry. Are you doubling
Yeah.
the fries?
Nah,
Okay.
the fries is cool.
Yeah, you got to watch your waistline. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta watch the waistline. That's why, like, later on in the season, I start to, but it's okay.
No, you don't have to watch anything. People are, Tyreek Hill's in Cancun. He's got to worry about that. You got things to do. Like, you don't have to worry about how you look in a bathing suit anytime soon, my friend.
stick with my
Let's talk about the win yesterday. And congratulations, honestly. This is huge. I'm rooting for you. Go on a run here. And I want to start with the 52-yard touchdown run by Josh Allen. We've seen him rip off some amazing stuff in our time here. Take me through your brain as you're watching this.
Honestly, Josh is just being Josh, man. This guy is a creative character. He reminds me so much of Cam Newton, but I don't even think that you can really compare them because they're drastically different now. Well, honestly, to start in this play, the Steelers brought a great rush. They brought a great rush, so the pocket is kind of collapsing. Josh looks left and he looks right, and he just takes off. But I think that the best part of this play is like this little pause. Josh didn't know what to do, but he was like, and then he was just like, all right, and I'm going. So, but us looking at this, it's just like, of course, Josh is just doing what Josh does. And if you see, like, we were all in that big pile, like, I didn't really see what was going on. Like I was peeking over guys, and I'm like, oh, Josh is running. And then I seen him, like, kind of stutter, and then he just went, and then he ran a guy over. I was like, bruh, Josh is goated. And after that play, honestly, I said game is over. There's no coming back for any team after Josh does something and like that, because you just feel that energy of, I'm him. I'm taking this game over. I don't care what nobody says. I'm the MVP. I'm Josh Allen. I'm the best athlete.
I love that it's not just the play or him. It's what it does to you. It's what it does to you watching.
Yeah, that's a great cue. But Josh really, I don't think that he knows as much as what he should know of the effect that he has on all of us. But, like, he's a special guy. He's a special guy. And when I look at these skinny guys, like, I call them skinnies, right? Like, and my definition of skinnies are like the skinny guys. Like, just to jump into my brain, okay? Nobody in their life says, oh, I want to be a blocker. I want to block. We all had dreams of catching the ball, scoring touchdowns, sacking the quarterback, pick six, cool stuff. That stuff is cool. Like, for a long time, like O-line, like, that's not cool. So, but now it is. But it's just like, seeing Josh do Josh things, it makes me feel like I'm the guy running, because Josh is a bigger guy playing a skinny position. So it is super dope to see him do that. And it fuels us. It fuels me. Like, I know, after that, you couldn't really say nothing to us. Like, it was
Dion, I will say, you've caught 2 touchdowns in your career.
I have, yes.
Let's
blessed
effing go.
and thankful. Yes.
You think I don't know that? That's you've got the best of both worlds out here, Dion.
Yeah, but I am a skinny guy trapped in a big guy body. Just so you know.
I'm a big girl stuck in a skinny girl body. That's why we get along so well.
Yo.
That's freaking hilarious. Oh my God. Okay, so we're giving Josh all his love. I like that he gives the whole team a jolt. Josh doesn't even know what he doesn't know about what effect he has on you. Listen, you almost had your this kind of plays into this. Let's talk about the finger. You almost had your finger ripped off of your body or something.
It's still ripped up. It's still ripped up. I don't know if you can see it now. Here,
I don't know if I want to see it.
It's kind of grossed
but I do.
out.
Oh, okay. Well, oh my God! Stop! I don't want to see that.
I mean, look, we gotta show the world. Look, it was horrible. It was horrible. But go ahead. Ask your question. I'm sorry.
Well,
I cut
it's
you
not
off.
so much a question, but like, I do feel like you manifested this, because you said back in 2022. What did you say?
Oh my God. It was the interview with the guys, the Barstool, with my guys. I said I would rip my hands off and give them to Josh Allen if I had to.
You said that you would give your last finger to Josh Allen, and lo and behold, this is how much you love your quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So Josh, this is for you, bro. All right. This is for like, look at my fingers. They're all messed up now, and I'm cut up, bro. I'm cut up. But it's for you. You want to run guys over?
I don't see Chris Jones. I don't see Chris Jones giving a finger to Mahomes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no. These guys are keeping their fingers, but yeah, my finger is hanging on by dear life, and the stitches just came out. But I'm thankful, man.
Hey,
but I would do it again for a win. I would do it. I would sacrifice these fingers.
You're telling me you would give a finger for a win against the Chiefs? Which finger? The one that's already dangling?
Nah, probably the middle one.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
If I had to, I would probably give the middle one.
I really feel like you've got a little manifesty stuff, so don't just keep saying you're going to win the game and that'll happen. Yeah. We don't need to give rid of appendages. Like, I just feel like it's like a little unnecessary.
Something gotta give or take.
All right, got it. Yeah, God's giveth, God's taketh. You beat the Chiefs.
Sure.
Week 14, 2017. This was the infamous Kadarius Toney offsides game. Now, this may have been the moment that the season started to really click for y'all. Y'all won 7 of the next 8. What changed with this win on your team?
Oh, man, it's whenever you play teams that you kind of go through Goliath type of battles with, like where it's like 2 extremely good teams. We battle every year, and then you lose, you win, you lose, you draw, you lose, you lose. Like it's always a bonus that it does for us in a confident way that we're on the right track of where we have to be. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really do anything for like no cockiness. Like we don't walk around like, yeah, and we beat them dudes, because we know eventually we're going to have to see them again. They're just that good all of the time. And they have Pat and Mahomes. Like he's shown it. He's got the accolades, he's got the rings, he's did it all.
So let's talk. Let's talk about this first. So I don't know why. That's the regular season. I don't care. Y'all beat them in the regular season. I don't care. Y'all have lost to them in the postseason. I don't want to care. Everyone's going to be pointing to those playoff losses. Give me the reason. The one reason, the reason the most. Obviously, home field. You've got Brady. You've got y'all are running. What is the one reason that you would like to tell people who are on TV like me? Don't even bring up those old playoff losses. We are a different team. This is a new time. This is a different game. What is the biggest difference on this Bills squad going into this same matchup where y'all have not beaten the big brother?
We understand that nobody cares. We understand that nobody cares anymore. We've been hearing that we're supposed to win. The Bills are supposed to. We understand that. Like, for a little bit of time, like it was good to feel like, people said that we were good and they cared. Like, but like we started to get to that point, like, all right, like the Bills are actually good, but now we don't care about nothing else but us. And we know that we're all we have and we need to get it done. And that you can say that every year, previous teams and this team, but this team, it's fueled by different headed beast. And
but why? What is the reason it's a different headed beast? Convince me.
The different headed beast is, how do I say this in the correct way for you to be convinced?
Not convinced. Like I believe in y'all, but I want everybody else to shut up. Like why is it going to be different this time around? Is it Brady?
Brady. Oh, what? Our
just your team.
Coordinator? Yeah, just
get the one reason
truly,
you think that this is not the old, we've lost to this team. This team's different because.
Truly, this team is drastically different because the people in the locker room drastically care about one another organically. It's not fake. It's not forced. It's not just because we're on the same team and we're teammates. We're actually brothers. Like we're actually friends. Like we're actually guys that hang out. We're actually guys that want to hang out and want to bond and want to get to know their families. And I know their sons and their daughters by first name basis. And I know their wife's name and they know mine and they know like everybody knows, real underlining details about people that you might not know. Like it's not just surface level. It's not just surface level. And because it's not surface level, guys go into games playing with that much more. We know that
guys
every
are giving
time
their fingers.
No, exactly.
I'm
Talk
going
about
to
it.
keep you after the break. I have a couple more questions for you,
Yeah.
but I want to get
Yeah.
in really quick. Dion's Dreamers. Incredible what you do. You're a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Yeah.
What can we do to help? I know that there's a fun prize fans can win.
Yeah, there is. You could donate. Go to Dion'sDreamers.org, and you could, just push it. Just push it. Like right now, it's about raising as much money as we can, so we can push that money back into the community. But if you're Team Snow, be on Team Snow and just follow along on the Dion's Dreamers page, and it is directing you. And even my Instagram, like I'm directing it. And if you support me, rock with me. But even if you don't, I appreciate you. But thank you. Yeah, and this is it.
It's alltrue.com, alltroo.com/Dawkins to donate to Dion's Dreamers, and you can maybe win this awesome package, which I love. Are you guys talking about the Chiefs a lot? Like, is it just, we have 90 seconds left. What's the approach? Are y'all like watching tape, or are we pretending that, this split doesn't exist?
No, of course. Like we're watching tape. Like obviously yesterday.
McDermott's probably crazy.
He is, but in a good way. But like we kind of lost a day, like because the game got pushed a day further. We lost a day in our process, but we're all like dialed in. Like today is our like off day, but pros and being pros, we're in our iPads, we're in our film, we're studying what they did last week and what we did against them the last time, and it's just regular ball, like treating it for like what it is, but understanding it's playoff football now. And even though it was the regular season, everything is just that much harder.
Okay, we have 15 seconds. I just want you to give a quick shout out to Jason Kelce, Jersey boy, Temple boy, retiring. Yeah. You just faced him on Thanksgiving. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, Jason, bro, look, you're a legend. Love you. I went to Temple. I appreciate you. You're a legend in these streets. You're a big guy, but a skinny guy, and I appreciate you, and I love you, bro. You're doing it for all the big boys.
Double nudes, double rice. Go give some fingers to quarterbacks. Dion, good luck against the Chiefs, where the Chiefs don't want to be, and that's Buffalo. We'll see you soon.
Sure.
Good luck. Bye, D.
Later.